Welcome into Breaking the Huddle with Sports Money. I'm Mikey Money here to give you guys big college breakdowns throughout the football season. And week 0 kicks us off with a banger, a top 25 showdown across the pond in Dublin, Ireland. Kansas State trying to exact revenge last year, having lost 29-21 to Iowa State, propelling Iowa State to the Big 12 championship game. In fact, Matt Campbell brings back a large number of returning starters, 14 starters returning. Belief system that this team can be the first one in Iowa State school history to win the Big 12 football championship. Kansas State and Avery Johnson are looking at this thing saying, not so fast. And if you look at it offensively, these teams are pretty close. 41st overall offensively in Kansas State, 31st overall last year offensively on the Iowa State side of things. Here's where I think the gaps exist for these two teams. Yeah, Kansas State ran and passed the ball pretty efficiently, pretty evenly, as a matter of fact. What did Iowa State do? Well, they like to pass the ball. They moved it 100 yards more through the air than on the ground. I know those are last year numbers, but with a large number of returning starters, I think that's relevant as we approach this game. Where did Kansas State struggle? It was the secondary defensively. They allowed almost twice as many passing yards to rushing yards. And so if you're sitting here and you see that Kansas State knows Iowa State wants to go out there and pass the ball through the air, you got to take advantage of your strengths. Those strengths are bully ball, control the clock, move the chains, put yourself in short yardage positions. And in fact, they did it better than almost everybody in the country last year, ranking number 2 in 4th down conversions. They also prepped very well. 7 of 8 season openers have gone to victory lane for Kansas State, meaning give them enough time, they'll find a way to minimize their weaknesses and capitalize on their strengths out here. Neutral site revenge teams are 53-24. That's Kansas State. That's -3. I think that's a really strong look here. But the way I want to approach this is I'm going to look at this Matt Campbell effect. You know, considering that Kansas State's got to play bully ball, push them around, move the chains, keep that clock ticking, you got to look at some unders. In fact, Matt Campbell unders, when he's lined as a 0 to 7 point dog, the unders cashed 22 of its last 27 times. In fact, not just cash, but it's gone under by almost 11 points per game. So I like this under 49.5 as my first official play for Breaking the Huddle this season. Also, I'm going to double down because the first quarter, what we've seen with these neutral site Ireland games, teams have a tough time getting to the end zone. In fact, 8 times they've gone across the pond here. 6 times one team has not found a touchdown in the first quarter. So I like this first quarter under 10.5. I like the full game under 49.5 with a strong lean to Kansas State -3. Appreciate you guys watching the video. Share in the comments your best bets, the way you want to attack week 0 in college football. Make sure you hit the like button and turn your notifications on. We'll give you guys a great college football season. Enjoy the video. Good luck with your week 0 action, and we'll see you guys real soon.
I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, then I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now
What up? What up? What up? Welcome into Pregaming here at Sports Money. Ready to roll. I hope you guys are feeling the groove, feeling the vibe. Look out, bookies. It's pregaming time. We got ourselves a big show ahead. You'll see lots of action, all leading in to the 8 p.m. live stream tonight for Dana White Contender Series. We'll be talking all the sports out there. We got a huge card, 5 games in the WNBA, 50 games in Major League Baseball. We'll talk some NFL look-ahead previews. We'll talk some college football as well. Lots of things going on tonight to get everybody ready to roll. I'm excited. I need to fire it back up here. We started 1-0 this afternoon. Can't stress it enough. If you're not following the free picks at Winnable, I don't know what you're doing. Giving them out. putting a tweet out there that they're out there. So even if you forgot to go sign up, you know to go back over there, see what's doing. We're 2-0 to start the soccer season off. Look at the smile on my face because it's so ridiculous. I can't stand that sport. I can't stand it. But I capped the fuck out of it. And we nailed it. What was it? Last Friday? Nailed that spot on Friday. Anyhow, today was a plus 200 play. I actually played it like 3 different ways. But I gave one out official at plus 200. Play I gave out today at plus 200. Both teams to score, nope. Kylian Mbappe to score a goal. It was 0-0 at halftime. Felt good about one half of that bet. The second half of the bet had me stressing just a little bit. As it turned out, they come back in to start the second half. Kylian Mbappe scores that first goal. And that's the way the game ends 1-0. Cash it. Plus 200. Felt pretty darn good. Needed it because yesterday, what were we yesterday? 3-4 overall. Not our finest performance. Now, wasn't all terrible. Gave out another NFL winner. Pre-flop swept the preseason in week number 2. Yeah, that happened. Yep. The 2 plays I gave out last Tuesday cashed. The play I gave out on Friday cashed. The play I gave out on Sunday cashed. The play I gave out on Monday cashed. So, felt pretty good about that. 1-1 in the live bets. Probably arguably forced it. We were live betting. I was cocktailing. I was having a good time. I was making money. I thought, you know what? Let's try it. We only missed the over by a point, maybe 1.5 points in that one game. Or I'm sorry, the under. But in any event, I think it was like a 6-1 overall preseason. So week number 2. Now I gave out 2 plays yesterday. Well, 1 play yesterday. I told you guys, listen, you got to parlay Cleveland and Denver together. Plus 112. That number's gone. That line's moving. That's for week 3. I got 3 more looks for week 3. Getting ready to go. Getting ready to fire up. Now, that being said, I have a saying I like to use, and I'd like to use it with you guys. But I'm afraid if I use it, it's going to get us in trouble. So let's just say it looks like a dumpster behind a medical facility. Sometimes what we do out here. It's very edgy. It's very controversial. Every time I say it, someone looks at me like, what? Did you just say what I think you said? Yeah. The under 8 was a disaster. Epic fucking disaster in that St. Louis-Miami game. They scored 8 runs themselves. Seattle. Complete fucking suicide vest on that one. 12-7. Did I say that too? Whoops. Seattle got spanked in the spot situational play. That sucked. Baltimore-Boston, worthless runs at the end of the game. Do not cash our under 8. 6-3 loser. That sucked. Kansas City won. That didn't suck. And that was a play that I don't post too many pre-game on BetStamp because people are like, oh, I don't need to watch your show. I'll just go see it on BetStamp. Save me the time. Well, fuck you. The way this works is I put content out there. I want you guys to enjoy it, embrace it. And then we go back and we try to work and win together. So I need your views. You want the plays. So I don't post them all. But I did post that Kansas City one pre-flop. So that was good. And then the Padres lose by 1. I like the under all fucking day. I might have even said here I like the under. And then the Bengals won. So it's a 3-4 day. Yes, AJ, we are going live for the Dana White Contender Series tonight. But listen, 3-4 day, we were down 1.43 units. Fired back today, 1-2 units. Listen, this is not a get rich quick overnight scheme, right? That's why we're not 5-unit bettors or 5% bettors or whatever the fuck those other guys are doing. Because sometimes that shit's going to happen. And I thought there were some great looks. I thought there were some great spots, but what are you going to do? We're going to dust ourselves off. We're going to get back in this fucking fight. We're going to make sure the gloves are taped up right. Make it a bad night when it comes to these bookies. That's exactly what we're here to do tonight. So, yeah, Rose, it's a fucking grind, dude. And sometimes it's exciting. Sometimes you're real happy. Sometimes it fucking sucks and drags you on. But we won today. Started off winning. I like winning. Winning's a lot of fun. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Joseph Myers, I used to have a fucking boss. Man, this fucking dude used to say, it's a sprint and a marathon. And I always just go back at him and I was like, this is the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard, dude. It's not a sprint and a marathon. Shut up. It's got to be one or the other. It's either a sprint or a marathon. It's not a sprint and a marathon. You want me to run fast and run far? What the fuck? Am I Forrest Gump? So, in any event, look, it's all right. Starting the week off positive. We're still moving in the right direction. And we had a ton of games today. Tons of fucking action. I'll even talk about some leans I got out there. Houston and Detroit. Tigers. Fucking rain. Sucks. 2 games I really liked. I actually stopped. I didn't give one of them. I didn't give one. Mets in Washington. Can't believe we're going to go back to this spot with these fucking fundamentally flawed Mets. The Yankees in Tampa Bay. Love that spot. Parlay in that spot. Oakland and Minnesota. Love that spot. Parlay in that spot. San Francisco, San Diego. We missed the bounce back spot last night. How do we attack it tonight? And then Cleveland and Arizona to bring us home. I think I added a play. Did I add a play? I'm going to add a play, I think. I added a play in the WNBA. You don't see it here. 7:30 start. Connecticut Sun, Washington Mystics. Seattle and Chicago Sky. Atlanta and Las Vegas to round us out. Maybe we'll talk about that last game too. Maybe we'll save it for the live stream. I don't know. I like a lot of action today. Kind of makes sense, like the getaway days and the new start days. Not my favorite days. Sundays and Mondays. Ergo, fuck it. Days in a while, I like it. And I enjoy betting on them. Doesn't matter what I'm betting on. How about that? Just some little realism for you guys. Now, I gave you a college football video. Don't fucking wait. Don't wait. I'm telling you. I recorded that thing 72 times. It took me forever to get through and ready to go for college football. I love that fucking game. I gave it to you here. I'll tell you again. I like the -3. I like the under 49.5. I like the first quarter under 10.5. Don't wait. I don't think we're going to see some of those spots. There might be a bunch of dummies that hammer this over. I don't know. I fucking was sitting down. I was researching the game because I don't know how many I don't know how we're going to do it. I mean, if they're not going to get views, I'm not going to do it. I got better shit to do than post video. We used to get some of those videos that got like 12, 13 views. Fuck it. We're not going to do that. But I'll tell you this. As long as we get the likes, the comments, and we're winning, we'll keep fucking firing. But that being said, I was sitting down and I was looking at that game because it's a top 25 game. Want to cover those for sure. And I was like, Matt Campbell. I remember something about Matt Campbell. Mostly what I listened to was this guy getting jacked up about how they're going to win the fucking Big 12 this year. So I started looking. At some future bets. I'm not going to lie. By the way, if you look at the standings, guess who the teams are projected to be in the World Series? Speaking of future bets. But I thought, man, I remember something about Matt Campbell. And sure enough, there was the Matt Campbell unders. Matt Campbell lined as a dog to 7 points. 0 to 7. So really even to a 7. Under 22-5. We're the first official people to bust that stat out this year. I might have been the first guy to use that stat before. I'm not sure. Might have to fact check me on that. But in any event, I'm fired up for college football. It's going to be a great year. We got some great trends. They fired up the old trend database. We got, 172 of them. Maybe more. I've been adding them every year. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited for all of that. And you'll see we only got 4 days to go until the college football season pops off. The NFL will pop off in 16 days. That'll be a lot of fun. The Eagles will pop us off on Thursday Night Football. We'll be live. And we're going to live stream every primetime game right here on Sports Money. So Thursday nights, Sunday nights, Monday nights. Get ready, because you may end up single. I'm not sure. Is your significant other going to let you live stream with us on Thursday, on Saturday, on Sunday, on Monday, on Tuesday? I don't know. Maybe I won't be able to do it all. I don't know. We're going to try. God damn it, we're going to try. And then somewhere in between there, we're going to fit in recording primetime football games, college football games, top 25 matchups, and everything else that we do. Plus, by the way, we have the NHL popping off here in 49 days or something like that. So I can't wait. That's my favorite sport. Although I've become quite accustomed to baseball because we have been busting them in the mouth. And I want to shout out to a couple of you guys. I see Nutflush Allen dropping by. Nutflush Allen, your Giants did me dirty. I was thinking about you as they were fucking smacking me in the back of the head with the bat like it's a club and I'm a baby seal. That sucked. Congrats on that win, 4-3. Damn it. Also, I want to shout out Bo Jackson. He had his birthday yesterday, and I told you he was saying fade them Blue Jays. Shout out to Bo Jackson. You boys, you team boots on the ground fellas are outstanding. And Nutflesh, as you know, Mrs. Nutflesh not only allows, but caps with me. Well, that's it. Family that caps together stays together. But I'm fired up, you guys. Again, we got a lot of things going on here, so I do appreciate everybody joining. We're going to get to it here in just a moment. We got time. We don't have a lot of time. 2 games will pop off at 6:40. But I do want to let you guys know lots of things happening. So don't shoot the messenger. I was passing along the note about the VB MMA pick show last night. A little late. A little technological stuff. Our apologies. That being said, the number 2 capper in all the world, capping, recording all the results on an MMA website. I'm not going to give their name. They're not paying me. Fuck them. But the number 2 guy in all the world, VB MMA picks, and he does his shows right here with us. Ramon Scott is the co-host. That's who that guy is. If you're wondering, I said this yesterday. And he gave us Dana White Contender Series, the full card breakdown. That's Sunday night. Then he rolls back on Monday and he gives 3 fights, usually the co-main, the main, and one more, if not an extra, sometimes a bonus pick for the UFC card that's coming up that weekend. This weekend happens to be UFC Shanghai. So you got that content out there to check out. Consume, absorb, do your research, get ready. First Strike will come out tomorrow. That'll be our 3-fight breakdown from the Sports Money crew. Going to try to continue to record some of these college football and NFL games as well. And I want to say thank you guys, all that do support us. Love the comments, love the tweets. That's a huge help getting it out there across the Twitterverse so that everybody knows that we're here doing this thing on a regular basis. Look, we're just hardworking people trying to grind. No shortcuts in this business. No shortcuts. It is a sprint and a marathon. As much as I hate that. But it's nothing without you guys. So appreciate you guys. Boots on the ground, guys. All you guys giving us the updates on your teams out there. Nutflush, Bojack, the whole crew. Even Redbeard and his fucking Mets. I love all you guys, man. And that's what keeps me coming back. So if you haven't done so already, smash that thumbs up button. We will get to work. We will talk about the best damn chat in the business, the place that they are on, and we will fire away on this evening's card. Okay, that's it. That's how we get started on this piece. You know what I'm saying? You're picking up what I'm putting down. I hope you are. I'm ready to go. Get your pens and paper out. We're going to shout out. We're going to talk some best bets from the chat. Then we're going to fire through my card, and we're going to get up out of here. Place these bets. Get your dinner if you have to. I ate already. I'm going to circle back. I'm going to refill the old vodka glass and get ready to pop the top at 8 p.m. for the Dana White Contender Series. Actually, I think it starts. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it's 8 p.m. By the way, if you're wondering, DraftKings, we have a love-hate relationship. I love to crush them. They hate getting spanked by me, but the fucking internet issues here with this geolocating thing I'm going to have to call my VIP guy. I'm going to have to call him up. I'm going to give him peace of my mind. This is bullshit. Every time I go to checking location. The location hasn't changed, dude. Can't get in. Yeah, it looks like 8 p.m. is the go time. Fuck, 3:45 a.m. for the UFC this weekend. Oh, well. This is what it is. Let's get going. Let's talk about it, you guys. Rock and roll and stop. Gio, the first commenter here tonight. Says good luck tonight, mofos. Shout out to you, Stop Geo Engineering. David Wallace. There's my guy, Redbeard. I give him shit about his Mets, but he's my guy. And he's giving out the Brew Crew. He likes the over 6.5. By the way, where's my guy? Where's my Brew Crew guy that was DMing me yesterday? I'm not going to blast him. I'm not going to put him on. I'm not going to dox him. I'm not going to put him on blast. Got me all jacked up about this Brew Crew conversation. That sucked that they canceled that game last night. That was the difference between 500 or down a little bit. Some people say that's not the case. Like, oh, it shouldn't come down to the one spot. Well, you know what, dude? When you bet 8 plays and one of them gets canceled, you go 3 and 4. Turns out that was the fucking play that could have made you go 500. So sometimes that's the way it goes. But in any event, Cubbies smashed. Cubbies got shut out yesterday. Did they bounce back off a shutout? Yup. Do they bounce back tonight? I don't think so. I can't play in the night. I'm going to be honest with you. Just pure fucking spite. I want to play the Cubs again. I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. I might do it. If I do it, I'm not going to tell you I did it. But if they do win, and regardless of whether I played or not, I'll come back here tomorrow and say, I fucking told you. So anyways, shout out to Redbeard. He likes the Brewers in the over 6.5, my dude. And he's got a nice plus money price tag. I felt like it was that kind of day, Redbeard. That's why I said I got the 2 games that are the 2-play parlays. And then we did the soccer one earlier today. It just had that feeling to me. And I think those are going to be our ways to cash as we advance through the end of the season here with incorporating some of these player props. Shout out to Nicholas Handy and Redbeard says Ireland deserves better than Iowa and Kansas. I actually think that's going to be a decent game. I'm going to tell you who I like this year, which is fucking me up. Last year and the year before, I couldn't stop betting Iowa State. I don't know why. Didn't they have that one game that ended like 3-0 or something like that 2 or 3 seasons ago? I like Iowa this year. Maybe I've looked at too much fucking Big 12. Maybe. Oh, there's so much to talk about with football. I gotta stay focused here. We got all kinds of things happening here. Quarterback announcements galore. Joe Flacco. You know, Joe Flacco started a game against Donovan McNabb. He's starting. Oh, I can't wait oh man, the redshirt freshman out there in California. How about Ohio State? How about Syracuse? Oh man, there's so much fun. There's so much fun with these quarterbacks going on right now. Anyhow, let's stay focused. Let's get to this card. Shout out to Joseph Myers. It says, cheers. Jimbo in the house, checking in. The Futon Bets likes the Lynx money line. Cam Roastin money line. Hit the like. Hell yeah. LaForty James blows. Haven't bet yet. Boulders on deck. Gerald Jones says best bet. Phillies run line. -1.5. Rose Miller, Joseph Myers can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. That is fucking true. There's Bo Jackson. Hope you had a good birthday, Bo. Congrats on making it another year, my friend. Shout out to Jimmy, says Gerald Jones. We are riding shotgun with you, Phillies, -1.5. Bo Jackson says, how about them Pirates had it? Yeah, there you go. Gerald Jones. AOD's in the house. Let's go. Rose's commenting on my comment. Peter Grassi is checking in with us. What's up, Peter? Hope you're well, my guy. 9 Legacy wants the paid in full parlay. I got 2 parlays. You slap them together. It's 4 legs, 2 games, paid in full. Joseph Myers, the Dodgers losing, probably burned a lot of parlays. I'm sure that did. I was going to give out the under. True story. And yes, AJ, we are going to go live for Dana White contenders. There's Cedric. This ain't no 100-yard dash. Lace them up, motherfuckers. I appreciate all you guys. There's Markel checking in. Can I get a home run Dinger Tuesday? Sure. I'll give you a guy that I like to smack the ball out of the yard. Turnsy. Says, I'm boots on the ground in Detroit. The rain is gone. All right. Well, let's get going. Robert McCormick's checking in. Peter Grassi says, so true. Long-term investment betting, 1 unit at a time. Run, Forrest, run. Brian Smith, 4 runs in the Boston game in the 9th was, yeah, dude. Yeah. Sucked. Stop Geo Engineer says, DK has a 50% Major League Baseball boost. Any type up minus 250. Joseph Myers, Sunday baseball is wonky to bet on. The sports betting groovy alien, Pimp Slap, and sports money is money. Make sure to hit the like and get paid in full. Jay Main checking in. Chosen One likes the A's and the Rangers. Jay Main says Tanner Bybee under 17.5 outs. Elder over 2.5 earned runs. Jay Main says, I'm mad I haven't had the kahunas to bet the Rockies. Stop Geo. You know the... All right. I'll be quick. You know who's got the second best record in the last 2-week span of baseball? Number 1, the Brewers. Number 2, the Rockies. That's why, as I said yesterday, Brewers' time is done. Their time, done. Now tonight, I told you, purely out of spite, I want to bet the Cubs. I don't know how you can, though, with Jameson Taillon. I know last night I was looking at it, but anyhow, Stop Geo says, anyone else feel behind on their NFL offseason research? Yes and no. I mean, dude, you know the deal. It takes people 2 or 3. Everyone that's talking about how they're looking forward to betting on football in the NFL to make you feel like you're behind are going to be those fuckers that sit there in week 1 going, I'm not going to bet too much until week 3 or week 4. I think you're right on point. I haven't looked. Well, I mean, I have, but preseason wise, I'm betting preseason. I guess that helps me get ready. Jay Main says, 1 more. I got Tomei under 2.5 earned runs. Nut Flush Giants team total under today. There we go. Joseph Myers says Bo Jackson was a force of nature and super. Yeah, he was. There's Jeff Matthews. No Vladdy in the lineup. Jay Peasy. What up, Jay Peasy? Nut Flush says Astros team total over. Nats team total over. Baltimore team total over. All on the card with the San Fran team total under. There's Trevor Davis likes the Nats and the Mets over. Jay Main's got the A's first 5. Jay Main says, my bad, A's first 5 team total over. Oldie says, I am interested. Jay Main got the Mets over 9. Bills over 8. I'll tell you. Man. Yeah, dude. Stop Geo. Fuck yeah, dude. I turn my double authenticator off on most shit because I just get annoyed by having to put that passcode in again. Nut Flush on those team totals, all 3 at plus money, and 2 are 3.5s and 1 4.5 for our guy. Checking in. Yeah, signing in, Peter, is driving me nuts. All right, let's go, you guys. J-Man says, I hate DK. I'm mad that that's my major book. DJ Hardy says, where's Joe? Over. How about those Cubbies, says Dana Dell. Redbeard says, I do miss Jover. We all miss Jover. I talked to Jover not too long ago. He had some stuff going on. He's going to circle back. Checked in to make sure he was doing well. All right, let's go. Bo Jackson's on the Jays tonight. Bo, I'm so glad to hear you say that. Stop Geo says back on it tonight. Rockies plus 3. Dana Delp says Reds, Angels under 8.5. All right, I'm going to add 2 games in baseball. And I added to 1 in WNBA. So let's go. We got to get moving. I thought this game was going to give us a weather delay so we would have a little bit more time. We don't. Boots on the ground are giving us the report. I'm on the under 3.5 in the first 5 of this game. Look, perplexing as it may be, why am I not taking... This is a fucking Cy Young showdown. This is going to be one of those games where I feel like if you don't like low scoring, you're not going to like this game. These two should battle. It is delayed. Isn't it? Yeah, it's in a fucking delay. Son of a bitch. I like Houston. I do. I don't care. It's fucking Scooble or not. 32% of the bets, 73% of the cash are on the Houston Astros. The only problem would be for Scooble is if he's out there rolling a no-hitter. So I think a lot of the sharp public is sitting there going, this Astros team in this, I'm sure they're not sitting there going, well, they just got shut out last night. And we know teams that Mikey Money talks about off the shutouts are out there to fire. Maybe, maybe not. At Minnesota, they fired. They won 3 of the 4 games. I'm sorry, the Tigers, that is. Excuse me. The Astros are off of back-to-back shutouts. They've been shut out 3 of their last 4 times. That's what I was looking at. Baltimore, 7-0 shutout. Off a shutout, they fired back, 5-4, worth noting. Then Baltimore, they lose 12-0. Then the first game at Detroit, they lose 10-0 here last night. Is that who this fucking team is? The Astros? Have they just gotten, I don't know. Hunter Brown's a killer. 2.45 ERA, striking out around 31% or so. Comerica tends to be the under ball club of the century. And then you got Scooble on the other side. So I think at least through the first time in the order, both these guys can shove. I don't suspect this is one of those spots where they put out 4 runs in the first inning and then it's shut down the rest of the game. If it is, I'll bet the under 8 or 9, just so we're all on the same page. And I'd give a guy like, you know who I like in this game? This is a tough, I don't know about the home run. Here's why. I don't like props where I'm involved in the unders. Right? And I'm absolutely involved in this under, the first 5 under. I really like this Astros team. I can't talk anybody off this Astros spot. Hint, hint. Hint, hint. And a lot of it has to do with that shutout. But the guy that I would have to give some strong consideration to is Pena. I think this guy, his WRC plus right now, that's again, that measurement here of performance against expectation and ballpark factors, it's through the roof. It's one of the best in baseball right now. And this team that's been shut out 3 of their last 4 games, as I mentioned, it's an impressive metric to be sporting out there. So that being said, we'll give that one a go. Not going to get too far into that game. What do we got next? I did add Toronto in this bounce back spot. I thought that this was a situation. I'm glad to hear Bo's on it. I don't like that 95% of the cash is coming in on these boys, but yeah, they got fucked in Skeens night. Good for them. I like Max Scherzer. I don't care if he's 100 years old. I said this at the start of the season. The first third of the year, he didn't even play. So while he's got a 3.83 ERA, he's only played like 5 games, 6 games, right? He's fresh as a daisy. And let me tell you, as you get older, that freshness is important. If I could start golf on the 6th hole instead of the 1st hole, I'd have a fucking killer round. Now I just don't play golf because I tore my ACL and my MCL. That being said, I like Scherzer to come out here and shove. I like him to put these boys back in their place. I thought last night, albeit heartbreaking 5-2 loss out there, I just don't think that's the Pittsburgh team we can count on, and they had their ace on the bump. So we'll see Scherzer mow him out, shut him down. And then this is the other one I think that's popping off here in just a few minutes, right? So this one comes down to a couple of factors for me as I was looking at this game. Look, first and foremost, David Peterson on the road as a series opener has got a perfect 14-0 over record going on. You got to know that right off the hop. Even better than that, I'll paraphrase. I'll bring it in a little bit here, Redbeard, for you. I'll bring it in just a little bit here. Despite all those bullshit moves the Mets forced at the trade deadline, whether or not they were bad and stupid, we'll leave that away. Peterson's been struggling lately. He's got 7.04 ERA in his last 3 starts. He got hit 14 times. He walked 9 dudes in 15 innings. Yikes. And even a shit squad like the Nationals are firing out average Major League Baseball numbers in strength of hit, BABIP, and ISO. So I like the Nationals. I think they're a live dog tonight. Sorry. Plus 175 is a really great price tag. The only problem I am concerned with is Jake Irvin. 14 earned runs in his last 13 innings pitched, 23 hits and 6 walks. So he's all over the place. Where I was talking about this at the start of the game, and I said, I can't believe we're doing this again, is I got to trust the Mets to score runs when we need them. Remember the other day, we had their team total over 4.5. They lost that fucking game 4-3 to the Braves. Started a resurgence of the Braves. All on their own, the Mets, 4-3 final. So Look, their ISO. I mean, their BABIP and ISO are still tops in baseball, still top 5. It's inconsistent. And do you want to count on them, boys? Here's who I like. Here's a homer for you. Fuck. By the way, the Toronto game, you guys did comment on it in the chat. I was thinking about this as I'm scatterbrained right now. There is no Vladdy Guerrero. That number is definitely suspiciously inflated for having no Vladdy Guerrero. Like, maybe the books knew he was going to be out all along, I guess, and it should have been a minus 200, and so it started off the way it did. I'm not sure. Francisco Lindor is the guy that I would look at for a homer in this game. Can't believe I'm saying it. Plus 375, Francisco Lindor. His RBI sitting around plus 170, plus 175 price tag. Why? He's hitting 560 with a 1647 OPS in the last week. He's got 3 homers, 14 hits out there. He's getting 4+ at-bats as the leadoff, so you got to like what you're seeing with this guy. His over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs is priced around plus 115 or so. I mean, they're thinking he's going to get a couple cracks, or at least he gets on base and trots his big ass around there. So, yeah, I like Francisco Lindor. There's your dinger play spot if you want to get involved in the old dinger business. I think I got one more. Out there. But that brings us current. That brings us through all these games for the 640. Redbeard says, good choice, Mikey. There you go. Cedric Lindor, 2 total base running. Irish King likes the polar bear. Jeff Matthews got Paul DeJong hits, runs, RBIs. Ramon Scott says Gable Stevenson signs an LFA. Is that the case? Steve Fehrenbach says once Jordan is back rolling, Astros are going to go on an absolute run. It might be too little too late at that point. Steve Fehrenbach says Razor called out some 20-3 trend for today's card. Razor ought to just leave the trends to me. No, I'm just kidding. I was fucking around all day. I didn't hear it. They turned up the temperature of hell just a little bit more for me today. That's where I spent my time. That being said, though, Irish King likes Schwarber home run and Ohtani home run. 2-piece. Might as well add Judge to it. Top 3 dudes. 1, 2, 3. All right, Stop Geo says the Tigers' first pitch is 7:15. See ya. Kind of shit fucks me up, though. I'll explain why here briefly when we have a minute. So you see the volume, right? And so some of you guys have always questioned, like, how do you do it? And, we've done the math game. If you back it down 30% and you keep winning at the same rate that we're winning, you're increasing your winning by 60%. So it's an easy formula. I'll reduce my price tag by 1/3, but I'll increase my winnings by 2/3. Who's not going to sign up for that to be able to get involved? Now, the key is you got to obviously be consistent with your winning rate, which we know we are. We've been tracking this for years. But when I look at a game like Houston, it's supposed to start at 640. There's a certain amount of what I'm willing to allocate for the bankroll across the night is tied to that game. So there's some games that I want to get involved with later on tonight where this is going to fuck everything up, right? Like, for example, if we're having a great night, I'm not just going to stop and be like, oh, we're not going to force it. We're fucking we're playing games. No. We're fucking cappers and we're going to fucking force it where I think there's an angle. And that angle I want to force fuck is the Reds right down their fucking throat. So all depends on what this Houston-Detroit game does for me to be able to bring in wave 2 of some of these Major League Baseball plays. That's just in my head. That's how it makes sense as a volume-driven capper and still managing your risk, right? You can't just go out there and throw the entire bankroll down and say, here we go, let's have a huge night. No, those are never good nights. We all know that. But that's what screws me up when we see these rain delays. Plus, the starting pitching. Now, this one they knew, obviously, for a while. The other one, by the way, I told you I was going to tell you where I thought the other game had a really strong opportunity for a total, is the under in that White Sox and Braves game at 7:15. It went from 8.5. There are some 9s. which I really like now because you can catch some 9s with a little bit of juice, but it gets you off of that half a run under, right? It gets you on the key numbers, what I'm trying to say. And you get 92% of the bets and 93% of the cash. By the way, not only are there some strong trends to that under, the umpires have a 30% higher under rate than the rest of Major League Baseball. So this is just a great spot, but it's a fucking rain delay. So, yeah. I look at a lot. A lot of baseball, a lot of stats, a lot of trends, all that stuff. Joseph Meyer says LFA is a pretty prominent feeder organization for the UFC. If Stevenson does well in the LFA, he'll get a shot at the UFC. That's where our guy from, Kevin Carrier. He's in the LFA. Twisted's in the house. What's up, Twisted? Irish King. White Sox team total over 3.5. 8-5 win Atlanta, something like that. Okay, well. All right. Kelly V says Irvin sucks. Washington starting pitching. Lindor, good numbers. Yeah. Oh, my nose itches. All right. Onward, upward. Shit. One thing I wanted to do first. Okay. All right. Cedric says, I like Ward. 2 hits, runs, RBIs, plus money. I love Ward as a batter. To preface that. I like that Angels team. Told you my overall, batting squads. The Phillies, the Cubs, the Dodgers, the Angels. And at one point it was the Mets. I'm going to tell you right now. So we did this when I talked. Who was the team? Was it Oakland? Was it the Athletics where we went on that tear and they ripped off like 12 straight wins and we caught them from like day one? Is that the spot? I think I said they were going to win like 14 and they won like 13 or something like that. Remember that? It feels like forever ago, doesn't it? I think we're about to see that with the Red Sox. I got the sneaky suspicion, by the way. I also think we're going to see incredible regression out of the Brewers, which I talked about yesterday. So anyhow, I digress. Let's talk about this Yankees game. The Yankees in the overs, this first 2-leg parlay I've fastened together for this card. Couple of thoughts with this one. We've got the Yankees. So I've talked about how some teams are poverty. Some teams are bad. And we play some unders because it's like, man, they went back-to-back overs. And if they've got back-to-back overs, they go unders and they're just really bad teams. And it's like, well, that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, it's a shit team. And somehow they found a little groove and caught some overs. At some point, they're going to regress. And it's usually after 2. The Yankees find themselves on the road after an over going over. Can you believe it? Well, doesn't that just make sense when you look at a team like the Yankees? Why? Well, they got a lot of great batters. I mean, on paper, that lineup's one of the best across Major League Baseball, as I just prefaced by talking about how they're in my top 5. I'm sure it's not my top 5. I mean, it seems pretty obvious when you look at who's smacking the ball around out there. But, yeah, once they get in that groove, they settle in, they keep cooking on that over. And now factor in this. They're at Steinbrenner Field. Where do they play their spring training ball? In that shit ballpark. It's second probably shit in comparison to, actually, I've been there before. It's not that bad for a shit ballpark, but in any event, they've cashed the over 11 straight times. The over after an over when they're on the road. They're 43-13 in those spots. Makes a ton of sense to me. Now, you look at the side and yeah, it's come down. 83% of the bets, 93% of the cash are on the Yankees. Minus 142 is now a minus 126, but I'm not buying the Shane Baz bullshit. He's got a 4.93 ERA. That doesn't make me feel comfortable. That's not the warm fuzzy you're looking for. That's T scumbag status. On the other side of things, though, I'll jump into the Rodon business. I think when you look at this guy, and he's had an up and down season, there's no doubt about it. but I like him as a lefty. You guys know my deal. Now, I know we're talking lefties and still talking overs, but I think that's because the Yankees put the absolute fucking bludgeoning on these boys tonight. Look at his last start, Rodon. 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, just 1 earned run. 7 innings, he only walked 2 dudes. He only got 5 Ks. By the way, I talked about Gavin Williams last night for the Guardians. Yeah, they won. He only had 5 strikeouts. I think I called it to the fucking number. He was under 5.5. And they're winning with this guy. 9-1. They just busted up the Twins in that 7-inning, 1-hit outing. They won 3-2 prior to that. They did lose 13-12 against the Marlins in Miami. I don't know what the hell happened there. And that was coming off of those tough series because they had the Phillies and they had Toronto right before that. So I like this Rodon character. I'm going to get in the Rodon business here tonight. I'm going to take the Yankees. I'm going to parlay them, though, with the over because of that situation where the team that starts finding the groove keeps it smooth. And that's what we got with these Yankees tonight. Just a quick run down the lineup. Grisham, Judge, Bellinger, Stanton. Bellinger, this guy's 0-0 against Baz. I think this guy I don't know. I had a weird Bellinger encounter today, so I guess that's planted in my subconscious here. Grisham, Judge, Bellinger, Stanton, Rice, Goldschmidt, Chisholm, Volpe, and Caballero. Okay. Dude, Rodon's going to nuke these fucking guys. I'd take a team total under on the Rays if I didn't want to get too cute with it. And I know I'm talking about the over. Yandy Diaz, 13 at-bats, 4 hits against Carlos Rodon. Is that good? I mean, it's 308 on paper. Doesn't seem good, does it? He's the most on the team. Hassan Kim's got 10 at-bats, no hits. Chris Morel's got 10 at-bats, no hits. Jake Mangum's got 2 at-bats, no hits. Yeah. It's a good Yankee spot. If you want to be safe, take the Yankees. I like this. I'm gonna wedge this over in there. I think they go over on their own. This is like an 8-1 final to me. So that's the way we will roll through that game. Let's keep her moving. Let's keep it going as we roll on into the second double dipper. Well, it's not a double dipper. It's just a double popper. So it's kind of fucked up. So I sat there looking at it, and the A's money line's like 110. So the thought process I had for this game for me was more of a try to wind it back, try to get back some of that number that I lost because of the time of the day that we have placing this bet, right? It opened at 122s. There's 118s out there now too still. I guess it's correlated, and that's why they're fucking juicing us. Correlated meaning if the A's win, it's probably because they score more runs than the Twins, right? That's kind of obvious. And so, and I think the Twins are anemic in this pitching situation. Minus 146, they're down to minus 134. Every time I look at this screen, a game is starting, and it keeps moving. 67% of the bets and 57% of the cash are on the Twins. This total started at 8.5. It hasn't moved. 87% of the bets, 82% of the cash. Here's my concern. There's some really powerful trends tonight for the over on the Athletics. The Twins find themselves with Joey Ryan on the bump in an 0-7 situation. So how does that make sense? Well, the only way that makes sense is if the Athletics go out there and kick the shit out of the ball. 6-3 final score. Which means you could probably extend the ladder, play the ladder game a little bit with these guys. And, look, you got temps in the 80s, heavy humidity. I mean, those are conditions. Problem is Joe Ryan's a piece, dude. His fucking barrel rate's over 11% right now. This ballpark, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, the warning track for this ballpark's a fucking shit show. Problem is Lopez. Lopez has been a killer. He's been striking dudes out. We talked a little bit about this yesterday with that Boston game, right? Can the ball carry? And both these guys do like to hit them fly balls, so the ball can carry. I just think Lopez, he's been doing what he does, and that's enough to shut down this Minnesota Twins offense. Are they going to get 4.5? I thought this was egregious. You can take that. You could parlay, or you could play these individually. Actually, if you played them individually, no, you're not quite getting the same return, but you're getting a nice return too. So I do think the Athletics find the win. And I think, again, Lopez gets shut down. Joe Ryan, 0-9 straight up, and the run line if he threw more than 101 pitches his last start. In other words, it's the spot we love. The guy's gone deeper than he usually does. and they fall off after that. So that's a great spot, I thought, to take advantage of here. And if just felt to me like with the way Lopez is striking teams out, the way that we see the whiff rate for Minnesota Twins batters, the inconsistency there. Talk about the Mets inconsistency. The Twins rank in there as well. Feast or famine, and whether Buxton's playing or not, don't matter. So in any event, I thought this was an opt for the bigger score. It's not that much of a bigger score. I mean, it is almost 50 cents bigger than the number you could probably catch right now on some spots. Meaning if you just played the Athletics, you're catching them at like plus 105. But it's the business I'm in. Trying to turn this into an ROI wagon for us out there. Jay Main says, Joe Blow Ryan. There's Skunt Blaster with the Skunt Bag play of the day. Got the A's in the under 9. Well, I'm certainly not mad at that. That supports the cap, doesn't it? The Athletics right now are 117 at DraftKings. See, my DraftKings number is 264 for the Athletics in the under 9. That's not a terrible way to go to it. What if you add 2 for a same game parlay? They got some same game parlay boost out there. Crack this under 4.5. No. How could it make no difference? What if you go to the 3.5? So you can take the under 3.5 at plus 130. It's got a nice little ring to it. I don't know. I like that play, Scumbag. Scump Blaster. Scumbag. Play of the day. Jay Main says, A's get me my 2 runs. First innings, I'll be good. SF Niner says, I got Tigers run line. Giants run line. Blue Jays run line. Lopez over 5.5 strikeouts. Gary Ferencz in the house. He says, took Tigers game under 7.5. Jay Main's got Toomey under 2.5. Elder over 2.5. Both plus money. Nicholas Haney says, recommend a sports book for Dana White Contender Series. Depends on the state you live in, my friend. The fucked up situation in New York is very restricting. I don't even want to say him. DM me. I'll let you know. I don't care. We use Bet Online and Bet US. The only reason we're not affiliated with those guys is because they wanted to take us. There's 2 things. One, we were trying to find the best percentage match bonus for new users. Problem is everyone's a fucking user, right? Everyone's got those books by now. So it was only for new users. So you guys are existing users. You're going to hear us talk about those books. They're getting fucked. The other thing is they wanted to give out percentage of losses. And that just seems like I don't know. That just seems like a bad business to be in, doesn't it? It's not, how am I going to come out here and give you guys wins? You're not going to show up to the show if we keep losing. There's some people out there that don't mind doing that, though. Think about that when they're promoting those companies. Anyways, San Francisco, San Diego Padres rolling on to the scene of the crime. The scene of the crime that was a 4-3 win yesterday. Expected it to be lower. It ended up being a lower scoring game. Got the wrong side of it on that 1-run hiatus in the bounce back spot where we saw the Padres having gotten swept by the Dodgers, coming back home, looking to bounce back. Nobody does it better in Major League Baseball than the Padres. And yet, they shit the money bed last night, my friends. Now, we roll on. We look at this game tonight. It's Slick Dick Nick Pivetta, and it's Wang Chung tonight. So, look, I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's a solid fella. But I like the Padres to bounce back in this spot. I mean, it's a juicy. Remember I told you before? I was thinking about this. I was telling you guys before about how I got a buddy who, he's not even a buddy. He's just a dude I know that goes out there and looks for the highest first 5 run line. And then he fires it out as it's probably not a bad capping strategy. It kind of falls in line with the highest over in NFL. You play the over, and the lowest total, you play the under. It's kind of that same idea or strategy. My point is this one's pretty close. I mean, this first 5 minus a half, they're almost, some books are even juiced it up to 140s and 145s. So I think they're telling you a lot when it comes down to this line. And we just talked about the bounce back spot, the pitching edge, the first 5. San Francisco just scored 4 runs. Our guy Nutflush is talking about the team total under. I mean, this is the moon, the stars, and the planets all aligning as one. So we'll take the San Diego first 5 -0.5. This is a big juicy number. 85% of the bets, 88% of the cash are on the Padres. It's come down 12 cents. Has not moved on the Giant side of things. And you got 95% of the bets, 96% of the cash on the over 8. That has not moved either. Is this going to be another one of those spots where we see the under prevail? This is one of those spots I was telling you guys earlier where I look at the money that's invested on some of these earlier games, and if things are going the right way, would you fire off and say a same game parlay where you take the Padres, maybe take the Padres -1, or you take Pavetta to get the win, maybe? You take the team total under on the Giants. You take the under on the game. You take the first 5 under. You take the team total first 5 under for the San Francisco Giants, and you turn this into like a +800. That's how I felt about this game here at Petco Park tonight. But I'm going to start off with the San Diego first 5 -0.5. That's action that's already in. And keep an eye on the Dana White Contender Series tonight because I may turn that around. I like Tang under 3.5 strikeouts too. That might make the parlay card. Because what would I fear most about that? All those should cash. How did it not cash? The Giants end up winning the game, right? So is that going to happen? I mean, stranger shits happen. I don't want to even put it in the ether. Last game for me in baseball. Then we'll flip over to some WNBA and get this show on the road, you guys. Thank you all for checking us out. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. That's what we need. We need the support. There's a lot of bra talk in the comment section. I love it. What do you guys get put on timeout? What happened? What time's Contender Series start? 8 p.m. tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. The first week they start at 7. Every week going forward, the last 9 weeks will be at 8 p.m. So make sure you guys show up. Fit to get in there and bust these books up. The Guardians and the Diamondbacks. For me, this one came down simply to 2 things. 3 things. 4 things. 40% of the bets, 50% of the cash are on the Diamondbacks. So the public likes the Guardians. Now, some of you guys talked about this at the onset of the show, and I agree. It's Bybee can go fuck off night tonight. 4.54 ERA. A little excess cursing in the programming tonight. I told you guys. Hell, it was just a little hotter for me today than it might have been for anybody else. So the Diamondbacks are now on a 4-game losing streak, and this is one of the factors that I had talked about. 1, if you're a favorite and you're on a 3-game or greater losing streak, you're a favorite for a reason. And you end up winning those games, you're 56-21. Diamondbacks are probably toast. We talked about that pre-trade deadline or at trade deadline. Like, why did they become sellers? Didn't make a lot of sense. They got rid of some of their key components. But now we got this situation that brings itself to the table with Erod. You know, I'm an Erod fan. I've been kind of talking some of his numbers and trying to, like, Sharpie's got his black book of pitchers. I don't know that I necessarily have a black book, but one of the specs that I look for this guy, I definitely don't have a black book, by the way. I have a couple dashboards that I leverage, but some homegrown stuff. Eduardo Rodriguez is a lefty. You know I like that. So see, like lefties, what, 18% of the time? We've talked about it. He just came off of 7 innings pitched. He only gave up 1 homer and 1 earned run in that outing. He's consistently a 6-hit guy. Probably you take his hit prop over tonight. I didn't even see what it is. I can look really quick from a prop perspective because he does. He gives up, look at this, 6, 8, 6, 6, 6. Whoa, 6, 6, 6. Can you take it now that I just said that? I'm fucked up. I'm superstitious like that. Oh, it's over 5.5 at -120. There's a pick 'em out there for some places. I wish I could get prize picks. Anyways, I like his hits over 5.5. That being said, though, I'm gonna get on board with these guys because, look, as I was looking at some of these numbers, yeah, they're a favorite for a reason on a monster losing streak. And you look at this situation where Cleveland tends to fall to the under when they're on the road against lefties. Well, if it's going to go under, maybe it's lower scoring. It's the same theory I've talked to you guys about time and again. If it's probably going under, and then one team's focused on that under, that means the other team just needs to get a couple more runs to scratch it out and pick up the W. Now, Bybee, in all fairness, he's a contact guy. But he's got a 5.59 ERA on the road. 5 hits, 8 hits, 7 hits, 6 hits. The problem for him is runs he's given up. 2, 4, 4, 4, 3, 4. I mean, this guy's puking up runs like it's his job. And it's actually the opposite of what his job is. So it's an easy cash conversation for me. I'm going to take the Arizona Diamondbacks here. I know public loves these Guardians. Public loves recency bias. They just won against Arizona. And what have we seen? 4 straight losses against the Diamondbacks. But again, favored for a reason. That'll be how we put the bow on the MLB portion of the show. Now, we've got 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 WNBA picks. I added this play here a short minute ago. This starts in 30 minutes. The Connecticut Sun been having a pretty solid WNBA season. Every time I say that, I feel like I'm tempting fate. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, we've talked about how you bet the WNBA time and again. After the line movement, you got to start thinking about going the other way. Now, I referenced that because this Lynx and Liberty game is about to pop off. And the Lynx have been getting busting up the Liberty. So you got the home revenge angle for the Liberty. This line went as high as 3. I even saw a 3.5 at one book that was reasonably fucking underpriced. So now as we get closer to tip-off, it's coming back down. There's 3s and now 2.5s out there. So I'm not going to mess with that game. Those are 2 good teams, probably the teams that we see in the big dance at the end. But I look at the Sun and the Mystics game. This game started at 8.5. It's come down to 6.5 and now 6s. And as I looked at this game, the total's coming down as well. 162.5 down to 158.5. So I can't get involved on the under, even though I kind of initially was looking at that spot, but we're losing too many points in this game to get involved in that business. So what I looked at is this. Pretty straightforward. Washington sucks as a favorite. They suck after scoring a bunch of points. And the Sun are on an 11-0 trend. So this line's moved enough that I'll take the first half because we lost those 2 points on the back end. And that's typically where we'll see these teams fall apart, is that end of the third quarter into the fourth quarter. So if the favorite is going to somehow find a way to come back, when I say they suck, I'll just give you some numbers here. 1-6 against the spread as a favorite their last 7. If they scored more than 78 points, the Washington Mystics are 0-8 in a favorite position. So that is the epitome of sell high. Somehow this shit team found a way to score some points, and they don't back it up. And the Sun, on the other hand, are 11-0 against the spread if they got 12 or more turnovers the previous game. So I'm going to take the first half of this game. I'm going to break it down to that component. Say, all right, maybe they end up winning outright. Fuck do I know? Plus 300 becomes plus 222. It's a lot of movement on this money line. Minus 380s now, minus 265. That wouldn't surprise me. But I'll break this game down to the first half. Keep in mind, if I'm getting a half in there, there's probably a strategy for something later. And there's a game on the slate we haven't talked about in the Mercury and Valkyrie. But the Seattle Storm will pop off against the Chicago Sky. This line opened at 11.5. It's come down to 11. It's come down to 10.5. It's come down to 10. Somehow the total's gone up from 154.5 to 159. We were just blind betting them team total unders and the Chicago Sky unders with no Angel Reese in the lineup. So as we're looking at this game and breaking this one down here, what it comes down to me is a weird spot. Why? Oh, why? Is a team that's 1-4 in their last 5 games. Such a heavy favorite. Because the Sky are that bad. And the books know they're going to put a thumping on them. In fact, if they got 12 or more turnovers the previous game. They're 0-11 against the spread. They're getting whooped by almost 22 points a game on average. So 22 points. I think the Storm can cover a 10. I'm not concerned about the 10.5 either. They're going to win this thing. They're going to bust them up. They're going to win by 20. Probably could take the money line on the Sun, parlay it with a -20 Storm victory, and have yourself a monster number out there. WNBA rejected the proposed sale of the Sun today over vetting concerns. Mohegan Tribe keeps control while the league seeks a qualified buyer. Ramon Scott, maybe you come off of some of that capital you got and we buy him. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't want a WNBA team. I wouldn't mind the Fever. Become quite fond of Sophie Cunningham. I found a good WNBA update today, and I sent it to some of the fellas. Some would say controversial. The Atlanta Dream, I almost looked at the Aces and thought, man, just drop the bundle on these gals. The Atlanta Dream, I had a dream. 22-12. Are you fucking kidding me? This is one of them spots where I looked at this game and I thought the Dream are over exceeding expectation. They shouldn't be a 22-12 team. So when you peel it back, I looked at who are they playing? They're beating up on doormats. Yeah, they got a big win against Golden State at Golden State. That was a surprise. I'll give them that. But they've been thumping the Seattle Storm. That's why I don't understand why the Storm are the number they are after getting stomped like 3 times in 2 weeks by the Atlanta Dream. And yet they're 10.5 point favorites. They're kind of interconnected to me as far as how the cap was going. And they beat Phoenix and they beat Chicago and they beat Connecticut. Like, all right, you're beating up on the doormats. So this puts the books in a tough spot because they got to put a number on this thing. And recency bias will tell you, look it. We saw the Aces not covering a bunch of spreads. Here's the difference. The way they started the season to where they are now, they're an underwhelming play for a lot of bettors because they saw the early start of the season and they couldn't cover shit. So it creates that kind of perfect storm, right? Where you have the Atlanta Dream coming into this thing overhyped, overinflated. The Aces, they're earning wins now. So I was thinking about the Aces. Then I took a look. And I said, you know what? Give me the over in this game. It got hit early this morning. It moved up to some 166s. And let me see what the best number we got right now is. 165.5, 166, and 166.5 are out there now too in some spots. Man. Still get the 165.5. Plenty of spots for those. And so when I came to this play, I thought, well, the one thing that these teams are doing is scoring. And also recent performances. When you look at the totals that were on those teams, they've brought the number up. And so we've seen when they bring the number up from the recent games that I think the last one was 162. Now they're bringing it up to 165s, 166s, 166.5s. I think they're telegraphing that this game goes over for us. I'm going to jump in on the over to close it out. Cactus Black in the house. What's up, Cactus Black? It's a cool name. Says, I dream of a revenge spot. San Francisco Niners says, I think the Sun game is the ugliest. Well, Redbeard says Sophie is his. Okay. You can't have her. Let's go, you guys. That's it. That's the way we're going to put the bow on the show. The Sports Money Sun. That sounds great. That sounds really good. Guys, join us at 8 p.m. You got some research to do out there. You can check out the VB MMA Picks Ramon Scott Show for the Dana White Contender Series. You can check it out for UFC Shanghai for this weekend. You can check out the college football video that I put out there today as well. Lots of things happening in the world of sports money, but nothing going to be more fun than the live stream here tonight. We'll talk about some of these bets that are in play. We'll look for live betting angles across all the sports spectrum. Even if Dana White Contender Series isn't your thing, you don't want to miss out on the other bets that we're dropping, all the sports conversation that we're having here. Sports Center on steroids, because we're actually betting, tying it all together and making some money doing it. So have yourselves a glorious Tuesday. On behalf of my man, Jay Peasy, we'll give the outro a play. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Rain, sleet, or snow.